Chosen ones, prepare yourselves. What I'm about to share isn't just powerful, it's life-changing. Thank you. If you're watching this right now, it's no coincidence. You were meant to hear this. God has guided you here because something extraordinary is about to unfold in your life. The time has come. Your true love is on its way. You are shifting from longing to receiving. The love you've prayed for, hoped for, and waited for is no longer just a distant dream. It's about to become your reality. But this isn't just a change in mindset. It's a divine transformation happening deep within you. As a chosen one, you're about to witness everything falling into place faster than you ever imagined. However, to fully embrace this shift, you must align yourself with the divine plan and walk boldly into the love you've always deserved. Before we dive deeper into this revelation, take a moment to do 3 things. Hit the like button, subscribe, and comment. This will send a powerful signal to the universe, amplifying the energy of this message. And remember, if you're truly a chosen one, your spirit already knows this message is meant for you. So stay with me until the end, because your life is about to shift. Now, why is this love arriving at this exact moment? The answer lies in divine timing. Every challenge, every hardship, and every moment of solitude has been preparing you for this very moment. God has been leading you here all along. God's timing is perfect. Your waiting is not in vain. Waiting is one of the hardest things for the human heart to endure. In a world where everything is instant messaging, fast food, quick results, waiting feels like an unnecessary burden. But in God's kingdom, waiting is not punishment, it is preparation. God does not operate on our human timeline, and His delays are never denials. They are divine appointments, waiting for the perfect moment to unfold. When you look at the great figures in the Bible, you see a pattern. Waiting was a crucial part of their journey. Abraham waited decades for the promise of a son. Joseph waited years in prison before stepping into his destiny. David was anointed as king long before he ever sat on the throne. Each of these individuals had a promise, just as you do. And just like them, your waiting is not for nothing. It is shaping you, molding you, and bringing you closer to the divine purpose God has set for your life. But waiting is not just about passing time, it is about preparation. In the waiting, God is working. He is refining your character, deepening your faith, and aligning your heart with His will. Many times we think we are ready for love, but God sees what we cannot. He knows the future, He knows what is best for us, and He knows when the right person is truly ready to step into our lives. If you receive a blessing too soon, before you are ready to handle it, it can become a burden rather than a gift. That is why God sometimes says, wait. Not because He is withholding something good from you, but because He is protecting you from settling for something less than His best. This waiting season is where your faith is tested the most. It is easy to trust God when everything is happening quickly, when prayers are answered overnight, but real faith is proven in the waiting. Can you trust Him even when you don't see movement? Can you believe in His goodness even when nothing seems to be happening? This is where many people lose heart. They become impatient, they take matters into their own hands, and they settle for something that is outside of God's plan. But when you truly trust in His timing, you understand that He is orchestrating something greater than you can imagine. One of the greatest dangers during waiting is comparison. You look around and it seems like everyone else is finding their person, getting married, building a future together, while you are still here, waiting. Social media amplifies this feeling. You see pictures of engagements, weddings, and happy couples, and you start to wonder, why not me? Have I been forgotten? But God does not operate according to the timelines of others. Your story is uniquely written by Him, and no one else's journey should dictate your faith. The enemy wants you to believe that you are behind, that you have missed your chance, that love is passing you by. But that is a lie. If you are in a waiting season, it is because God is still working on something extraordinary for you. Another struggle during the waiting season is doubt. You might wonder if you are even meant to experience true love. You might question whether God has someone for you at all. But let me remind you of something powerful. God is a God of love. He is the very definition of love. And because you are His child, love is your inheritance. He did not create you to walk this journey alone. He designed love. He designed relationships, and He designed marriage to reflect His divine love for us. If He placed the desire for love in your heart, He will not leave it unfulfilled, but you must trust that He knows when and how to bring it into your life. God's timing is not just about when you are ready. It is also about when the person meant for you is ready. Sometimes you are waiting not because you need more growth, but because the person God has chosen for you is still being prepared. Love that is meant by God is not rushed. It does not happen out of desperation or loneliness. It happens in divine order, and when it happens, you will understand why waiting was necessary. So, do not fear the waiting season. Do not let impatience push you into a relationship that is not meant for you. The one God has chosen for you will arrive at the appointed time. Until then, focus on becoming the best version of yourself. Strengthen your faith, grow in wisdom, and embrace the season God has placed you in. Because when the time comes, and when His plan unfolds, you will see that it was always worth the wait. You are being prepared. God is refining you for love. Many people think that waiting for love is simply about passing time, but in reality, it is a season of transformation. God is not just making you wait, He is making you ready. Love is a sacred gift, and a relationship that is truly blessed by God requires a foundation built on faith, strength, and spiritual maturity. If you are in a waiting season, it means that God is refining you, shaping you into the person you need to be for the love He has prepared for you. One of the biggest mistakes people make is rushing into relationships without allowing God to do the necessary work in their hearts first. Many enter relationships carrying emotional wounds, unresolved insecurities, or past traumas. When this happens, they look to their partner to fill the voids in their lives instead of allowing God to heal them first. But true love, the love God has approved, does not come to complete you, it comes to complement you. This means that before you can receive that love, God must first work within you. Refinement is not always easy. It often comes through trials, challenges, and moments of deep self-reflection. You may face heartbreak, disappointments, or seasons of loneliness that feel unbearable. But these moments are not meant to break you, they are meant to shape you. Think about gold. Before it becomes valuable, it must go through intense fire to remove impurities. In the same way, God allows us to go through seasons of testing to remove the things that might hinder us from experiencing the kind of love He has planned. Perhaps God is refining your patience, teaching you to trust His timing instead of trying to force things to happen. Maybe He is strengthening your self-worth, reminding you that you are already complete in Him and do not need a relationship to define your value. Or maybe He is teaching you how to love yourself in a healthy way so that when love does come, you will be able to love someone else fully without losing yourself in the process. One of the most important lessons God teaches during the refinement process is learning to put Him first. A relationship, no matter how beautiful, should never take the place of God in your heart. If your desire for love is greater than your desire for Him, then you may not be ready yet. A relationship blessed by God will not pull you away from Him, but will draw you even closer. This is why God often waits until we have developed a deep, unshakable relationship with Him before bringing the right person into our lives. Another part of refinement is learning how to let go of what is not meant for you. Sometimes we hold on to relationships or people who are not aligned with God's plan for us. We settle out of fear, thinking that if we let go, we might never find something better. But when God is preparing you for His best, He will often require you to release what is not meant for you. This is one of the hardest lessons to learn, but it is necessary. Trust that if God is asking you to walk away from something, it is because He has something greater ahead. Refinement also happens in how we view love itself. The world often portrays love as something based purely on emotions, attraction, or instant gratification. But God's definition of love is deeper. It is patient, kind, selfless, and rooted in faith. God is preparing you not just to receive love, but to give love in a way that reflects Him. So, if you feel like you are in a season of waiting, do not see it as a punishment. See it as preparation. God is refining you because He loves you. He is not just giving you love. He is making sure that when love comes, you will be ready to cherish it, nurture it, and honor it in the way He intended. The one meant for you will align with God's purpose. Love is not just about finding someone who makes you happy. It is about finding someone who walks in alignment with the purpose God has for your life. When God ordains a relationship, it is not based merely on attraction or shared interests. It is built upon a deeper foundation, one that connects both individuals to a higher calling. If you are wondering whether someone is truly meant for you, the answer lies in one key question: does this relationship align with God's purpose for my life? God has a unique plan for each of us. Before He brings the right person into your life, He ensures that they are someone who will support, encourage, and strengthen your faith, not distract or weaken it. This means that divine love is not just about companionship. It is about partnership. The person God has chosen for you will not pull you away from your destiny, but instead, they will propel you toward it. Think about the relationships in the Bible that were ordained by God: Ruth and Boaz, Mary and Joseph, Priscilla and Aquila. Each of these couples were not just in love, but they were also aligned in their faith and purpose. Their union was not just about their personal happiness, but about fulfilling God's greater plan. This is the kind of love that lasts, because it is not rooted in temporary emotions, but in divine destiny. However, many people struggle with this concept. They meet someone who seems perfect on the surface, kind, attractive, and caring, but deep down something feels off. Maybe that person does not share the same spiritual values. Maybe they do not encourage growth, or maybe they pull you into things that weaken your faith. These are signs that no matter how much you may desire the relationship, it may not be God's best for you. A relationship that aligns with God's purpose will bear good fruit. It will bring peace, not confusion. It will strengthen, not drain you. It will inspire both of you to grow, to serve, and to become more of who God created you to be. Love that is ordained by God is not just about how someone makes you feel. It is about how they help you fulfill the calling placed on your life. Sometimes God will remove people from your life because they are not aligned with the path He has set for you. This can be painful, especially when emotions are involved. But what we see as rejection is often divine protection. If God is closing a door, it is because He sees the bigger picture. He knows who will help you become the person you are meant to be, and He knows who will lead you away from your destiny. When you are walking in your purpose, the right person will recognize it and walk beside you. They will not compete with your calling, they will complement it. Their presence in your life will not feel like a distraction, but a confirmation. This is why it is important to seek God first. to build your own relationship with Him before seeking a relationship with someone else. When you are aligned with God, you will naturally attract someone who is also aligned with Him. When you are self-aware, you will also attract someone who is also aligned with Him. If you are in a season of waiting, trust that God is preparing someone who will not only love you, but will also walk with you in purpose. True love is not just about what someone can give you. It is about how together you can fulfill God's greater plan. When the right person comes, there will be no doubt, no hesitation, and no fear, because God's plan always comes with peace and confirmation. Love that is approved by God comes with peace, not confusion. One of the clearest signs that a relationship is from God is the presence of peace. God is not the author of confusion, and when He brings two people together, there will be a divine sense of assurance, not uncertainty. Many people enter relationships that are filled with constant doubts, emotional turmoil, and unanswered questions. Yet they convince themselves that this is what love is supposed to feel like. But love that is truly from God does not leave you in a state of anxiety or distress. It brings a deep, unshakable peace. Peace is not the absence of challenges, but rather the presence of God in the midst of them. Every relationship, no matter how divinely ordained, will have its difficulties. But when a relationship is approved by God, there will be a sense of security even in the trials. You will not constantly wonder where you stand. You will not feel the need to chase after love or beg for commitment. Instead, there will be a mutual understanding, a certainty that both of you are walking in alignment with God's plan. Many people mistake intense emotions for love. The excitement, the thrill, and the highs and lows of a relationship can sometimes feel like passion, but passion without peace is dangerous. It leads to emotional exhaustion, second-guessing, and a heart that is constantly unsettled. If a relationship leaves you feeling drained rather than strengthened, it is important to ask yourself whether it is truly from God. A God-approved relationship will also be free from manipulation, deceit, and fear. It will not require you to compromise your values, your faith, or your identity in Christ. Love that is from God will encourage you to grow spiritually, not pull you away from Him. If you find yourself justifying unhealthy behaviors, making excuses for constant instability, or feeling as though you are losing yourself in the process, it is time to step back and seek God's wisdom. God's peace is not something that can be faked or forced. When you are with the right person, there will be a calmness in your heart, a stillness that reassures you that you are exactly where you are meant to be. This does not mean that there will never be challenges, but it does mean that even in difficulties, you will not feel lost or uncertain. You will have confidence in the relationship because it is rooted in something far greater than emotions. It is built on faith and divine purpose. Sometimes we ignore the signs of confusion because we do not want to face the truth. We convince ourselves that if we just try harder, love will eventually feel right. But God does not need you to force what He has ordained. If something is from Him, it will unfold naturally, without manipulation or desperation. The presence of peace is God's way of confirming that you are on the right path. On the other hand, when God removes His peace, it is often a sign that something is not meant for you. Pay attention to the moments when you feel restless, uncertain, or uneasy about a relationship. These feelings are not random. They are warnings from the Holy Spirit. God will never lead you into a relationship that requires you to sacrifice your inner peace. If you are unsure about a relationship, seek God in prayer. Ask Him to reveal His will to you and then be willing to listen. Sometimes we pray for answers but ignore the signs when they come, but when you surrender your love life to God, trust that He will guide you toward what is best. The right relationship, the one He has approved, will be filled with clarity, security, and a peace that surpasses all understanding. God's timing is perfect. Trust in His divine plan. One of the hardest things about waiting for love is trusting in God's timing. When we desire something deeply, it is natural to want it as soon as possible. We may look at others who have found their person and wonder, why not me? Why is it taking so long? But what we often fail to realize is that God's plan operates on a timeline far greater than our own. He is never early, never late. He is always right on time. The waiting season can feel like a test of faith. It can bring frustration, impatience, and even moments of doubt. But God does not make you wait to punish you. He makes you wait to prepare you. There are things that He is orchestrating behind the scenes, things you cannot yet see. Perhaps the person He has for you is also in their own season of preparation. Maybe there are lessons you still need to learn, healing that needs to take place, or experiences that will shape you into the person you are meant to be. One of the greatest dangers in impatience is settling for something less than God's best. When we take matters into our own hands and try to force a relationship, we risk stepping outside of God's will. Many people have entered relationships out of desperation, only to find themselves in heartbreak because they did not wait for what was truly meant for them. The world tells us that time is running out, that if we do not find love quickly, we will be left behind. But God's plan does not work according to worldly pressure. His timing is not based on social expectations. It is based on what is best for you. Trusting in God's timing requires surrender. It means letting go of your own plans, your own timelines, and fully placing your faith in Him. It means believing that He sees the bigger picture, that He knows exactly when and how to bring the right person into your life. It means understanding that delay is not denial. Just because something has not happened yet does not mean it will not happen. The Bible is filled with stories of people who had to wait for God's promises to be fulfilled. Abraham and Sarah waited for a child. Joseph waited for his purpose to be revealed. Ruth waited for a new beginning. In every case, God's timing proved to be perfect. If they had given up or tried to take shortcuts, they would have missed out on the incredible blessings God had in store. During your waiting season, focus on growing closer to God. Use this time to deepen your relationship with Him, to build your faith, and to become the person He has called you to be. The right person will come not when you think you are ready, but when God knows you are ready. And when that moment arrives, you will see that the wait was worth it. When God writes your love story, it will be beyond anything you imagined. The love that God has prepared for you is far greater than anything you could create on your own. Many people have an idea of what they want in a relationship, a specific type of person, a timeline for when love should happen, or an expectation of how romance should unfold. But God's plan is always bigger, deeper, and more beautiful than anything we could design ourselves. When He is the author of your love story, it will not only fulfill your heart's desires, but also exceed them in ways you never expected. One of the most important things to understand is that God knows you better than you know yourself. He sees the depths of your heart, your dreams, your strengths, and even your weaknesses. He knows exactly the kind of partner who will complement you, challenge you, and grow with you. Often, what we think we want in love is based on our own limited perspective, shaped by past experiences, societal influences, or even fears. But God's vision is perfect. He does not just give you what you want, He gives you what you need. When God writes your love story, there will be divine alignment. You will not have to chase, force, or manipulate circumstances to make things happen. The relationship will unfold naturally, with confirmation after confirmation that this is His doing. There will be mutual effort, respect, and a shared purpose. Love from God does not come in confusion, pain, or uncertainty. It comes with clarity, peace, and joy. God is a master storyteller. He weaves every experience, every lesson, and every trial into a story that leads to something greater. Even the heartbreaks and disappointments you have faced are not wasted. They are part of the journey, shaping you into the person who will one day recognize and cherish the love He has prepared. The setbacks you have experienced are not signs that love is out of reach. They are proof that God is protecting you from anything that is not meant for you. One of the greatest mistakes people make is trying to control their own love story, instead of letting God take the lead. When we rely on our own plans, we risk settling for something less than His best. But when we surrender and allow Him to guide us, we open ourselves to something far greater, something that is not just built on human desires, but on divine purpose. When the right person arrives, you will understand why nothing else worked out before. You will see how every delay, every closed door, and every unanswered prayer was actually God's way of leading you toward something far greater. His love story for you is already written, and when the time is right, it will unfold in a way that will leave you in awe.